for small business owners. We have got Sam from Rhubarb Lane, and he's going to be sharing with us his strategies that he has seen work not only for himself and his small business as an entrepreneur, but also for so many of his clients on how you can actually leverage that platform to bring in high quality leads for your small business. The other thing that we're mentioning tonight is, of course, our free website audits. If you haven't already, make sure that you click on the link. I'll pop it in the chat again in a moment so that you can get a free website audit as part of our end of financial year offer. If you're a small business owner that has a website and you are using that as a lead generation tool, you're going to make sure that you are maximizing that so that you're getting the best return on investment there. So make sure to take us up on that offer. But apart from that, I'm going to hand over to Sam now. Thank you so much for having us here, Sam. It's great to have you.
No, thank you. Okay, hi guys. I can't see you all, but great to see you all virtually, and yeah, very excited to be here. We've got a big topic today to talk about, which is leveraging LinkedIn for lead generation. We could talk about this for hours, so I'm going to try and condense it all down now into about 30 minutes. If there are questions, yeah, throw them into the chat, and we'll be able to answer them as we go. And yeah, we'll just get started. So, first up, just a quick look. We're going to be chatting about basics of digital marketing and how that works for generating leads, how to make your profile look really good. So hopefully everybody already has a LinkedIn profile. That's the step number one. If you don't, make it in the background now. Next, understanding your audience and how you're going to be actually speaking to them. Then we're going to talk about creating content and making your voice heard on the platform. Then we get into making those meaningful connections. Okay, LinkedIn is all about connections. It's what it was made for, so we'll chat about that. Taking advantage of the paid tools as well. Not sure if anybody's got any experience with those. Very important. There's a lot of them, so I'm going to touch on those briefly as well. And then integrating your LinkedIn strategy with your wider marketing strategy as well. So hopefully there's a couple of questions maybe coming to mind already. So we'll just jump into it. So first up, I just wanted to clear up a little misconception about LinkedIn and digital marketing in general, and that is that digital marketing is really just about social media advertising, and that it's really easy. But it's more than that. It can be done. Everybody's got access to social media, and everybody can make a LinkedIn page. But having the right strategy around it and how to use it effectively, that's what we're here for now, and that's what I'm going to show you. That there's a little bit more to it than that. But digital marketing in total, is search and social, emails and content and all of your website. And I'm going to show you how it all works together and how LinkedIn plays a part in that. So it's an often overlooked channel as its content and discussions that we have on LinkedIn are generally more professional, they're less branded and salesy, and they're more geared towards sharing knowledge and information. Okay, so it's the perfect platform for business to business marketing, not necessarily directly to your consumers. Okay, it can play a part, but more it's about making those connections and showing that you actually have knowledge around your business and the people that you're talking to and how you can help them with their business. Okay, so next one here. Let's start then with the first thing, like I said, that you want to do is making sure that your profile looks like the real deal. Okay, so I've taken a quick snapshot there of my own. So this is all really, basic stuff, and a lot of you are probably thinking that, yeah, I've already got this, but making sure that you've got a really professional and up-to-date profile. There's actually a lot of information on LinkedIn that you can put in and tell people about what you do. Okay, and there's really simple ways of doing it. I am a small business owner. Okay, or there's going in and using things like keywords. So you'll see on mine, I've got content strategist, elevate brands with direct and indirect content strategies, expert in high volume content production. Okay, short, sharp, to the point. Use a really high quality or a high quality profile picture, professional if possible. Okay, so if you can get a professional photographer in to take that photo for you, really helps. It sounds a bit cliche, but after I got mine done, I actually noticed, like, I wasn't even doing anything else, just changing the photo, and I actually noticed a lot more people looking at my profile. Okay, because it does change from using your own phone to take your photo to using a really high quality image. It just helps with people, with the visibility of when you come up in searches and people go, oh, that's actually not a terrible photo. The next thing you want to make sure you're doing then is your company page. So we're going to be talking a little bit about your personal branding and then your company branding, okay? And they do play together. So making sure that you, first of all, create. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of brands out there that actually don't have LinkedIn pages, okay? So again, if that's you, make sure you put that down on your list. You want to create that and optimize that page with clear, high quality images. Logos, again, a very common thing is to not have a high quality version of your own logo, okay? Making sure you've got that. And up-to-date information. And that includes things like contact information, links to your website. And if you've got a heap of employees, making sure that they have actually linked back to your page as well, because that just shows that you've got a really big brand, big company, and people are really proud to work there. So that's really important. You'll be using this page to actually support your own content. So again, I mentioned how we're talking about personal branding and company branding. So I'm going to talk about both. But when you are reaching out to people and you're trying to make these connections and generate leads, you're going to be doing a lot of that through your personal page, okay? However, if you don't have your company page, people aren't going to be able to relate that back and see, okay, this is actually a person who works, for a brand, for a business, rather than just freelance. And it actually helps, your quality and your authority that you've got a company and something backing you up, rather than just looking like spam. Now, obviously, some people are just starting out and may not have the company website or may not have anything else. That's okay. Start with the page. If you can't link off to the website, link off to maybe a placeholder page, or at least a domain, to show that this is actually in the works. Yes, you are starting out, but you have got everything else. You've got the foundations behind you, and things are coming. Okay. So important notes here, just to remember, your LinkedIn profile is really like your digital business card, okay? Everybody goes and checks out the person on LinkedIn after they meet them, even if you give them a physical business card. If it's got your name and your company on there, people are going to go and they're going to look at you online to see what you're doing, what you're posting about, what you're talking about. And so it's really important that you do keep this up to date and keep it optimized. And again, using things like keywords about what you do, how you do it, how you help people, what your specialty, your expertise is in. That's going to really help as well. And again, over on your company page, doing the same thing. So making sure that you've got a really clear bio of what your company does, how it helps, and how it's better than the competition. Because again, if you're trying to reach out to people and they, for example, already have someone that does your service or makes your product, and you're trying to get them to switch, they need to know just from a look at your profile why you are better at that. Okay. And as you know, people have very short attention spans these days. If the LinkedIn page where they're driven to from your profile is not optimized, then there's no way they're going to go and check out your website and go further down that journey of actually becoming your customer. So it's just little things like that, really good images, really good keywords and biography and information to show them that you are legitimate and you are doing what you say you're doing. Any questions there?
No, we're pretty much right at the moment.
So, no, that's very, very helpful, Sam. Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate the examples as well. But yeah, everybody, if you have any questions, just drop them into the chat. We keep an eye on that, and we'll flag Sam down with anything relevant that comes up.
No, thanks. Yeah, I can't see the chat at the moment.
No, that's okay. We'll monitor that for you anyway, so not a problem.
Easy. All right. So the next stage, and I want to really stress how important this one is, because again, it's something that people skip over, but understanding your audience. Now, a lot of people will probably be thinking, and a lot of people that I talk to say, yeah, we definitely know who our customers are. But when you get right down to it, you'll actually find that there's a lot of patterns and a lot of information there that you've never really thought about before. From your best customers, you'll notice trends among their age, their location, their industry, and their pain points and desires of what they're trying to achieve. So I think it's really key that before you actually, hop on LinkedIn and start creating content and reaching out to people, making sure you understand your audience. So create those detailed personas, their age, location, I've already mentioned them, digital behavior. You'll set yourself up for success, and you'll not waste time on a channel, because you might find that actually the audience that you've been talking to for ages on Instagram, they're not actually resonating there at all. You're going to find LinkedIn's a much better a channel for what you're trying to do. So by having those personas in place from the get-go will be much more beneficial for you. Now, I've created something special for everybody here that can actually do this. It's a template. Just reach out to me after this, and I'm more than happy to share that with all of you, because I think it's a really, really important thing. And like I say, I've seen so many people that just don't have this set up from the start, and they're just creating content for the sake of it, and that's where the problems happen, and we'll get into that as well. So, creating content, yeah, like I say, not just for the sake of it, having your audience in mind, knowing who you're talking to. So there's a couple of different types of content that you can create. So LinkedIn is really about text content, as well as some visual when it comes to things like your case studies and your success stories. It's less focused on the images and people taking photos and videos and things like that. It's really about showing that you've got the knowledge and showing that you've got that you're a leader in your industry, and what you're actually talking about is you're one of the top voices, basically, and that's the phrase that LinkedIn actually uses. So I've just given you a snapshot again here of one that I've created recently. It's just breaks down. It's a good little visual there of emojis and tagging my own page and hashtags, and setting out the content in literally a whole sentence is a whole paragraph, because it just helps with readability. People can skim over, they can read the ones that they want to, the ones that catch their eye, like the ones with the emojis. So that's really important. Then we get into what I was saying before about integrating with your other strategies. Creating blog posts and articles. Now, these can be hosted elsewhere. You can write these as emails, or you can write them as posts on your own website, but sharing them on LinkedIn is going to actually get you a lot more eyeballs on it. So you give it, you write a little snippet here, and then you link back to it so that people can read the whole thing. Case studies and success stories, again, really, really important. Highlight how you've actually helped other clients to achieve their goals. Again, that comes back to when people are looking for differentiation between two brands. If you can show how you've actually done this amazing thing for your customer, and the other competitor B has not done anything like that, then you're going to have a much better chance of being the one that they choose. Okay. And industry news and trends, that comes back again to you being that thought leader. If you can show people that what you do, you've noticed something new in the market, something that's changed, and you're able to get on top of that and actually communicate that, because you're on here and you're connecting with other people and you're finding out all this information long before your customers are. So being the thought leader in this space is going to be really beneficial. Some key points to remember then. High quality content is the key to maintaining your visibility. What I mean by that is, don't rely, and everyone's going to be already knowing where I'm going with this, on AI to write all this content for you, okay? You need to be you can use it as a guide, but then you need to be putting your own thoughts behind it, and you need to be actually showing that you've done the research and you know what you're talking about, and you're able to put your own 2 cents behind it, okay? Make sure you're also sharing a mix of content. So don't just rely on blog posts, for example, or just rely on industry news. I've seen a lot of people that just take news that's happened elsewhere and they just repurpose it. So they'll literally just click repost as their own post without even maybe adding their own comments on it, because you can do that. You can repost, add your own comments, your own interpretation of what it is and why you think it's important. Don't just repost it without anything there, because that's not really relevant. In terms of frequency, that's also a really big question I always get asked. You want to be posting at least 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, that might sound like quite a bit for some people, but try and batch it. Try and write your content once a week or once a month, and try and schedule it. There are heaps of scheduling tools, and you can schedule it on LinkedIn directly if you need to. It's absolutely fine. That's how I do it. It works perfectly. So you can schedule it there and have it go live. You just write it once a week and then have it go live. You don't have to think about it again that week. Okay. And then you need to experiment with different times that you're actually posting for the best engagement. Okay. There are statistics out there, but it does really depend on your niche and your audience and when they're actually using the platform. Okay. Any questions on this one?
No, we're going pretty well right at the moment, Sam. So keep on going. You're hitting
Cool.
the spot.
Excellent.
Almost.
Okay, so the one thing that I was saying before is make sure you don't become a victim of this, posting for the sake of it. So as I said, 2 to 3 times a week, it might feel like it's that, it's almost like a necessity. You have to be posting, but you don't, like, even I've been guilty of that, as I've put there. So if you don't have anything of value to offer, then just don't bother writing it. If there's nothing that you actually have to talk about that day, and there's nothing in the, that you can find in industry updates or news, then it doesn't need to be said. It needs to be valuable stuff. So it's not like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok where you upload content just for the sake of it, and it becomes this library almost that people can look through when they look at your profile. You're there to make meaningful connections with people, and then you want to share why you've actually found something interesting, or why you're the leader in your industry. Okay, so that's just a quick side note for you.
Couple of questions just come up, Sam.
Yes.
One of the questions is, do we need to be on premium to get the benefits of scheduling, etc.?
Good question. Yeah, I'm going to touch on the paid stuff later. No, you don't for the scheduling tools. I've actually experimented with premium a little bit in over the years. I've had it on and off and on and off. I don't find it super valuable. I'll explain why. There are some aspects to it. You can see a lot more detail around the people who are looking at you and the people you want to find. You can make more connections. You can reach out to more people with personalized messages. However, it's quite expensive for a small business or for a small, for one person. And also, it's what you can get from the free version of LinkedIn, I've found to be relatively good, apart from, which we'll get into now, when you want to actually reach out and make those connections, you are limited to how many you can make per month. You can make as many connections as you want. You can actually click, connect, but you can't add a personalized message to each of those. So yeah, it becomes a bit, yes and no, basically. You can get away with a lot on the free version, but I think if it's in terms of scheduling, yeah, you're fine. You can do that absolutely, and post as much content and comment on as much content and share as much content as that you want for free. But if you do want to write personalized messages to people, then you will need to pay a bit more. I can't remember the exact number that you get free per month. I want to say it's 30 connections you can make per month, and then you have to actually pay to get more.
That's good.
Any others?
Another question is, how would you test a message posting for feedback and audience avatar?
How would you test the messaging for what? Sorry, say that again.
How would you test a message posting for feedback and audience avatar? So, I think the question is, how would you identify your audience, right, using LinkedIn posts or anything like that? Because in Facebook, you can actually do polls, you can ask questions and whatever, and get your audience through that. Is there a way of doing it through LinkedIn?
So this is like actually identifying those demographics and things like that, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Good question. So what in terms of actually identifying those personas, that is more around. It's not so much using LinkedIn, because a lot of this is taking is sort of assuming that we're not doing too much on LinkedIn yet. So making those customer personas is predicated on using customer data like that you've already got of people you already know are buying from you and are good customers. Okay. If you wanted to do it with LinkedIn, then you would need to go through and actually have a look at LinkedIn for Business, which is the other side, which is where you get your paid tools, which we'll talk about later. And then you can actually see the more comprehensive data around, statistics like gender, location, income level, however they guess that, job roles and industries and things like that. And you can build it out from there. But if you're not doing that yet, and you don't have that available on LinkedIn, I would be doing it through your current customers.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep, definitely. Just one very, very quick one. Is there a big difference between 1 a week or 3 times a week when you're posting, when you said that frequency? I think it will depend on your audience, I take it, and who's actually doing it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
definitely depends on your audience. If you're trying to make connections with people who are more, they're not as white collar is the only way I can think about putting it. If they're not, lawyers and marketers and, HR and any of those sort of industries, they spend less time on LinkedIn. So what you'd want to focus on more is that longer form content and less often if you need to. However, having said that, the reason for the frequency is that the more you post, the more you're going to actually appear in other people's feeds, and then therefore they're going to find your content and share it around more. So this is a sort of a side note, but the LinkedIn algorithm works quite differently to your TikTok and your Facebook and your Instagram, where that content is meant to be viewed that day and it gets quickly lost. LinkedIn, I still get my notifications about my impressions from content that I posted 2 weeks ago because it's still doing the rounds. LinkedIn really does not prioritize, but it's more about the quality than the recency. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're writing good content more often, then you're more likely to get more impressions and getting the right people to actually see your content. So I'd definitely be recommending, if you can do, say you want to post once, take that content, if it's quite long, and just halve it, take it and turn it into 2 pieces somehow. Again, not like, just cutting it in the middle, but finding a way to wrap up one piece, and then maybe it's a slightly different topic to make for the next day.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for that.
Cool. All righty. So we'll just get into making your meaningful connections now. So as I said, it's all about creating proper, real connections, meaningful connections with like-minded professionals. So a great way to do this is through groups. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the groups. There are hundreds and thousands of them out there for people who are have similar interests to you and work in the same field as you. That's a really good place to start, and that's a really good way of collecting ideas for content as well that you want to talk about, and taking their content and, if they've already found something new in the industry, repurposing that so you can write another thing. Excuse me. So as I said, this was really what LinkedIn was designed for. It's helping professionals to make these connections, okay? However, as we discussed, you're going to be going out and making these connections, but by joining these groups and sharing your content and your knowledge, ideally what you want is you want people to be connecting with you. So you want, again, this is just perfect world. Don't just sit back and wait for people to connect with you. This is eventually where you want to get to, is you want to be that industry leader and having people reach out to you and say, hey, really love that article you wrote. Can we connect? That sort of thing. So yeah, join in the relevant groups, participate where you can, engage in discussions and share your content. So that means sharing insights and answers, commenting on other people's posts and articles and case studies and things like that everybody else is saying. And it's just another way of getting your name out there and getting more impressions on what you're writing and what you're creating. Okay. Any questions on that? Or I'll jump ahead.
No, we're right at this stage.
Excellent.
So yeah, no, that's good.
Cool. Okay, so just wanted to touch on this one, which is Sales Navigator. So this is a tool that is more targeted towards larger sales teams, but maybe many of you are, doing that by yourself. Now this one has a lot more features than a free version. I'm going to caveat. I was going to do it at the end. I'm going to do it at the start. I don't know that this is the best tool. I just wanted to cover it anyway, though, because it doesn't have as many features as, say, like your Salesforce or your HubSpot, some other of these sales tools that you may be familiar with. Basically, though, what it does, it allows you to easily find and identify your target prospects that fit your brand through a more extensive network. So you're able to do things like save your searches so that you can easily find them again, ensure you're not doubling up, prioritize things like specific regions, industries, functions, seniority level, because at the basic, you can just search for, company name or job title or the person's actual name or things like that. You can then prioritize and qualify these opportunities, so you know which ones are going to be, which ones to go for first, which ones are more beneficial, and how much they'll be worth. So as I said there, it's similar to your Salesforce or your HubSpot. It is built directly into LinkedIn though, so you don't have to spend time finding the prospects and transferring that information to another CRM. So it does make it a more seamless experience, but because this is not LinkedIn's primary service that they offer, you've got little to no support for the platform. So it is quite hard if you need help or you need, if something's not working. And it's not as functional as these other platforms that were built specifically for that. But again, I thought I would just mention this one. If anybody does use it and has any opinions on it and why it's even better, then yeah, let us know. But I think you can get away with finding those people that you want with like your free or your premium subscription for LinkedIn. The other ones then to mention are InMail and Messaging. So this is where we were talking about that personalized outreach. And this is where if you are doing this in bulk and you want to do a lot of these, you probably will need your premium account for this. So this is a crucial thing for building connections. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but if I get a connection request from somebody and it doesn't have that message, I don't really think, I don't really see, I'm not really keen to actually connect with them because they have not taken the time to actually, write something. They've just hit connect, and it just doesn't feel that meaningful to me. So if you can, write your messages really, really specific. So refer to their profile, mention any common connections, mention a recent award or, something that they have achieved themselves or as a business. Then that is probably why you might be reaching out, because you've noticed that or you're interested in working with them because of that. Keep it clear and concise though. People don't want to, read too much. They want to just, in and out quite quick, respect their time. Don't waffle. Like, as I said, talk about their awards and them, but yeah, don't waffle unnecessarily. Offer something of value. Okay. So you can't just jump in and say, I really love to work with you. Talk about what you can actually offer, okay? And then if it's something that's like easy to access and having them ready, so you've got an invitation to a webinar or you've got a downloadable or even if you've just seen something that's really interesting that their competitor is doing, and you think that might be something they could follow up on or they could do as well, that can be really helpful. Following up as well, be hungry. If you don't get a response from them, follow up after a few more days with a polite reminder. Now there's quite a lot here. So again, just want to mention, I've actually made a template for this to actually help you create personalized messages for your prospects in bulk. So if that's something that you are interested in, just let me know. And again, it's as I mentioned, the InMail one, it's something that's accessed through a premium subscription with LinkedIn. It allows you to message people you're not currently connected to, and then you can actually add these personalized messages. So just note that there is the difference between the free and the premium. Any questions there?
Look, we'd love to have that template, I'd say. So look, if you can probably send me through the template, I'll pop that into the email and pop it onto the Facebook group as well, the closed Facebook group. So yeah,
No
that
worries.
might be really, really good. We're all really, really hungry for templates on how to do things right. So yeah, no, thanks for that.
No worries. Cool. Okay, so now getting into the advertising campaigns. Now, this is a really powerful one as well for for building your leads. And again, it's not one that's done too often. And the reason why is that it's really for your business to business. It's not really for your consumers, but it's not to say it doesn't have its value. So once you've got your profiles up to date and you've got your content that you want to actually promote, you can start building, you've started building your connections, you can start exploring paid campaigns. So like all other platforms, LinkedIn has a sophisticated advertising platform. The best option I've found is to run your lead campaigns, which is, again, what we're talking about, lead generation. There are other options you can run for LinkedIn. You can run generic brand awareness, which is just your image or your video, whatever you want. But again, people are here on LinkedIn to learn. So if you can offer them value and you can offer them something interesting and something different to what they're seeing all the time, and that it's so valuable that it's not just something you could put in a post, then they're happy to give over their private personal information for that. Usually it's their work email, not their personal one. But these types of ads for direct response work really well in this space if you've got a really good offer. Okay. One thing to note though, when you're doing this is you want to make sure if you do have a really great offer and you are getting those leads, but you're only checking LinkedIn maybe like once a day or less, you're going to miss some. And when you submit a form like this and you are looking for that content that's being offered, you want to get it straight away. Okay. So you need to really connect these forms back to your CRM system. Or if you don't have a CRM system, but I recommend you get one, you should at least make sure that you're checking like really, really often so that you can manually send the prospect, the lead, what they've actually signed up for. Okay, so we could do a whole workshop on how to actually run these lead gen campaigns and then integrate it with your CRM system, but we haven't got time for that. So I just wanted to make note that there is a really good platform here in LinkedIn paid campaigns to run these, and they are a really good way of generating your leads. So yeah, that leads us nicely into integration with your greater marketing strategy. All right. So as I said, LinkedIn's just one platform of many, and it serves a really unique purpose, but it shouldn't be the only platform you rely on. I know that's the one we're talking about tonight, but I just want to make it clear that it's really great for that written content, your visual slides as well, so creating slideshows for people to lead. But make sure you do funnel people back to your website, CRM, other point of sale to understand the effectiveness of your efforts. Okay, so I know that one thing people do is when they start on these campaigns, they're creating all this great content, and then they're not seeing a return very quickly because it's hard to measure when you're just talking about engagement, like likes and shares and things like that. And then it's very easy to give up on that and think it's not working. But if you have it all connected together and you're understanding that your LinkedIn lead gen is just one part of it, and it's funneling, it's fueling an entire system, it'll make it much easier to say, right, yeah, it's working because I'm actually getting a lot of impressions here, and I'm getting the engagement, and I'm getting the leads, and it's just maybe a problem in the middle. That's why we're not getting the sales. Okay. Yeah, again, very, very common for people to think that it's not working, even though it is. It's a problem in the middle, and turn everything off or stop posting and just give up on the platform. All right. So just as an example there, I use LinkedIn all the time. I think it's a fantastic tool. I use it to start my conversations, book my meetings, but then it's also great to get permission from people that you're talking to and actually add them to the CRM system so that they can receive that promotional material for long-term nurturing. Okay, so just remember that it isn't necessarily a sales platform. You're not, you're sending them a link to your website to buy. You're engaging them. Okay, you might be trying to set up a meeting to then sell to them, but it's not a platform to make that initial that sale. Okay, it's about engagement, and ultimately you're becoming a leader in your field and in your industry, so that you don't approach people in the end and they approach you, as I said before. Okay, any questions on that one?
No, pretty much right at this. Just one question is, how do you avoid the algorithms penalizing links to content off LI? So,
Offline?
yeah. So, obviously, like Facebook, you can obviously get penalized for things that you do on there. Is there anything on there that's going to affect the algorithm so you get penalized for doing stuff? Is there anything that stands out?
Many things.
Yeah.
many things you could do to annoy the algorithms. But in terms of like what you're saying, in terms of linking off to somewhere else, it depends on how
it's off
you
LinkedIn, when you take links off LinkedIn to other backlinks and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. You do. Yeah, that's one thing you do have to be mindful of. Yeah. The easiest way though to get around it is by creating your content on LinkedIn is making it long form. So if you've got something, a long form blog or something like that, taking that and putting as much as you can in your post on LinkedIn, not just cramming it in there, but actually rewriting it and making it more succinct and more digestible. You can do it through a couple of different formats though, because you can use things like slideshows and SlideShare even, which is a platform that LinkedIn own. And you'll see if you scroll through LinkedIn that people have what's called carousels on Facebook, where it's that one image, but you can scroll through and you can find more. Okay, so you can actually get your content through in a visual way and in a more robust way by using that, and you can still have your links off, or you can make reference to the fact that people should check out your profile or your website, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a link, but I would still be putting the links on there, because even though it might not be in line, as much. Sorry, even though it might get penalized by the algorithms, if what you're offering is more beneficial, like if the content that you're writing is so enticing that people want to click on it, that's going to outweigh the fact that there's a link, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're getting enough engagement on the content itself and people are liking it and sharing it and actually clicking on the link, then that's still going to, for you, it's still going to outweigh the negative from the algorithm.
Okay.
Did I answer that?
Yep. Thanks for that. That's good.
Any others?
No, not at this stage. I think the call of action and that little bit of the journey mapping out is really, really important. So you know the journey that you're going to take people through. That end result is really, really important. The other thing I want to add is obviously very, very important is that ask that permission to get people to join your other things off LinkedIn as well. So asking permission is really, really important in that. It's a professional platform and people like to be respected. So thanks for bringing that up. So
yeah, no, very, very important. You can't just grab people's contact info and just throw them into your CRM or your email marketing. You've got to make sure that you've got that permission. You've got them to sort of sign that they're happy to receive that material, and then you can actually start marketing to them. Okay, so again, maybe another just point to stress is that it is a long-term strategy. LinkedIn, it's not your TikTok, and it's not your where you're just showing them the product and they're going, oh, I'll buy that. It's business to business sales, and therefore it's a long-term burn. You want to make those connections, show them that you know what you're talking about, ask them for those meetings, and build it up over time. Okay, it does take a while, and it is a more nuanced platform, but it can be very powerful, and the people that you make these connections with are going to be very valuable. Well, hopefully, if you make the right connections, they're going to be very valuable to you and your business. Okay. Cool. So look, that pretty much covers it. That's I've almost hit the half-hour mark there. So thank you very much for listening. I hope there was a lot in there. Like I said, you could spend 2 hours on this rather than just half an hour. But I have got the templates, as I mentioned. So just send me a message. Connect with me on LinkedIn. That's my that's my little lead gen. And I'll send you a link to the landing page, or I'll send it to Paul as well, where I've got about 4 different templates for you for building your customer personas and creating your content plans, and I can't even remember them all now. But yeah, I'll send them all to you. There's a couple of good ones in there that you can use as templates.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very, very much. And look, appreciate you spending your time with us tonight and sharing your wealth of knowledge. I'm sure that some of the people on this session will reach out to you as well, so look for that. But everybody on this particular webinar, please reach out to Sam's LinkedIn, right? Make that connection going forward. But look, I want to really, really appreciate you. Thank you, and appreciate you spending this time with us. Have you got anything else to add, Trinity, before I close it off?
Look, I just really want to honor and thank Sam for joining us tonight. That was amazing content. I think that, the biggest thing that I appreciated is how in touch you are with what's happening right now. And that's what's so important about social media, right? The algorithms change every day. People's preferences change every day. You're living it, you're working in it, you know what's actually having an impact. So thank you so much for sharing that finger on the pulse insight with us tonight. I think we all got a lot out of that. And everyone, if you haven't already, make sure that you connect with Sam on LinkedIn and follow him along on Rhubarb Lane. And if you haven't already, make sure that you sign up for that free website audit. I'll pop the link in the chat once more. Don't miss out on that as our end of financial year offer for your lead generation strategies. And we look forward to seeing you again next month.
Definitely. Now, I've just put Sam's link for his LinkedIn page down there, so you can copy that and connect with Sam. If you haven't connected with myself, Trinity or Business Station, I suggest you do that as well, because we are putting a lot of content on there as well. But look, really, really appreciate you joining us today. Thanks again, Sam, for sharing your knowledge. And look, looking forward to the next month with a really good topic. So guys, take care. Have a fantastic rest of the night, and stay safe, and we'll catch up on the next lesson. Take care. Talk soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.